Hello, it's Monday. Hello, hello, hello. Chance is here. Hello, Rhonda. Hello, 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 hello. What? Okay, Chance is going to have to get a little moment because that's what he does. Hello, Becky. Hi, Linda. Hello, hello. Yep, Chance is here. Just a minute. You can't get up there yet. Okay. Sorry, you guys. It's been a minute. Okay, there he goes. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. I'm glad you guys are here. Let's see if I can get him where you can see him. He has taken up space because he thinks he should. So hello to everybody. I'm glad you're here. It is Monday all day long. I'm sorry. Apologies to everybody for flaking on you on Friday. I just couldn't go any further. I didn't even have the energy to put up a notice that I wasn't going to stream. I just couldn't go any further. I had gone as far as I could. So welcome everybody. I'm glad you're here. So Chance is going to be here for a minute. Scooch over so they can see your face. Yep. So he's going to be here for a minute, and then I will put him in the other room. Chance, the incredible shrinking cat. He's about as thin as he can get. He eats. He sleeps. He's happy. He purrs. He carries on, but he is really thin. He is very thin. His backbone is very present. So are his hip bones. He is just super thin. But he's very happy, and he's purring up a storm. Yeah. So far he can still hear, so that's good. Anyway, yeah, so it's good to see you guys. Let's see. Hello. Welcome everybody. Again, I'm sorry I flaked on you on Friday. It just was one of those things. And I won't be here this Friday again. But this one I know about. Last week I didn't know about. I just couldn't go any further. So we'll talk more as we get going. And tonight I'm going to do some jelly plate printing just because I couldn't think of anything else to do. I know, right, Becky? He is a poor old boy, but he's happy. He doesn't know he's old. He doesn't know there's a thing wrong with him because he lives in the present moment, which is where we all should live every day, every moment of every day. Animals are a wonderful teacher of that fact. You know, it's like one day, this is years ago, I had one of my animals at the vet. It was a dog, one of our boxers. I'd had to take him to the vet because he was getting old. And I don't know, there was some issue that we had. And the vet he was a great vet. And I was very sad when he retired. And I said something about that the dog's name was Zeke. And I said, you know, sometimes he falls up the steps, or he falls down the steps, or, you know, he just does weird things. And he goes, yep. He said, they do that. And he said, and the way they do that, you know, they're always in the present moment. And so they stand up, they shake themselves off, and, you know, and they kind of look at the step or look at the thing, and they kind of go, huh. And he said, and then they walk up the step, or they, you know, they do whatever the thing is, you know, or in some cases, you know, they've hurt themselves and you have to intervene and do something about it. He said, but they never concentrate on that. He said they will forget it in short order and never pay any attention to the fact. He said they don't hold a grudge against the step like we do, or anything. No, or anything else. And I thought that was a really good lesson for me. That was a really, really good lesson for me, you know. So, hello, hello, hello. Come on in, everybody. I'm glad you're here. Glad you are here. Okay, have you had enough love and pats that I can put you in the other room now? Huh? He is just having to get some love and love. Okay, come on. Let's put, yeah, come on. Let's give you some treats. And maybe you'll leave me alone for a little bit, huh? I just need to wash my hands and I'll be right back. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do, although I look a little peaked, yeah, it is what it is. I'm just glad to be here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the jelly plate out, and I'm going to use my 9x12 plate. So let me get set up here. We're going to work with golden fluid acrylics because it's what I have on the desk. So don't have to use golden fluid acrylics on a jelly plate. They're a little pricey, but that's what I'm going to be using. And I'll be talking to you. I'm going to be printing on a couple of different styles of rice paper. This, both of them I think I bought from Amazon, although this one I could have bought, I may have bought at Hobby Lobby. I don't remember. I'm just going to get out a few sheets. The other one I know for a fact that I ordered from Amazon. It's a different size, and so this one may have come from Hobby Lobby. I really don't remember. The brand is KYOWA. This is a piece of, this is something I did that's just in there. So, and this is the other one. This one you can get at Joggles. This is a Yasutomo brand. You can get it at Joggles or at Amazon. This I learned about from Elizabeth St. Hilaire. And there are 48 sheets. This is 9x12. This one's a little bit, you can see it's longer. So this is longer and it's slightly wider. So, but they feel very much like the same thing. These are all loose sheets. This is padded at one end, has a gum binding. So we'll pull off some of that as well. And this, I think, is a little bit heavier paper than the other one. So anyway, we're going to pull off a few sheets of this and play with this tonight. Just because I couldn't, because quite frankly, I don't have the energy to do anything else. Oh, it's so true. Anyway, so we're going to do that. I have coffee. And thanks, Rhonda. That's what I'm going to do. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it. The baby or the doll quilt, which I thought would be done by now, is still in process. However, it's coming along. My little great-granddaughter's birthday is not for a few more weeks, although time is getting short. You will understand that here shortly, because I have news for you about what's going on in my life. You probably already guessed. And so my thoughts are a wee bit scattered because I'm a little bit torn and distracted. So anyway, okay, so I'm just getting some stencils here. No, there was no Friday Live last week because I absolutely flaked on it. It was literally a last minute decision because I was talking to a friend on the phone and I was almost in tears, and my friend said, just don't. And I'm like, you know what? It's not only just don't, it's a matter of I just can't. So anyway. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to get started. I have a couple of texture tools. I don't have out very much because we're just going to see what happens here. I really don't know what I have in the way of paints. We're just going to grab things from the box. I have a box of golden fluid acrylics over here. And I have a big brayer. I have my sheets of paper at the ready. And so here's my box of golden fluid acrylics, which I have accumulated over a number of years. And so we're just going to play with it. Some of it is high flow. So some of it is very thin. Some of it is just the regular golden fluid acrylic. I don't have any of the tube acrylics out right now. If I need to, we'll get some. Now, this rice paper type paper, it has a smooth side and a rough side. The bigger sheets that are loose sheets, they are not as thick, not as heavy, and the rough side's not quite as rough as it is on the one that was in the pad. So we're just going to play with it. And what we want to do, according to what Elizabeth St. Hilaire said, is that you want to print on the smooth side of the paper, okay? Not the rough side. And the plate's dirty because I used it for a class. Barb does need a vacation, and Barb's going to get a vacation. Yeah, I'm going to get a vacation. That is coming. Okay, so here we go. Let's start putting some paint on the plate. Some of this is going to pull up, I think. So we're just going to put some paint on. And I don't know what's going to happen here. We're just going to put some paint on the plate. We're going to mix it up. And we're going to pull some prints, and then we'll see what happens. And I have nothing, absolutely nothing in mind for doing with these pieces of paper. Nothing whatsoever. We're just simply gonna make some prints and just see what happens. So the first thing I'm going to do, I don't even have any bubble wrap or anything here, so I'm just going to put some random marks on here, and I'm just going to stick a piece of paper on here, preferably only one, smooth side down, and then we'll see what we pull up. Okay, so here, while I massage this to see what I can get to come up. So here's what's going on. I'm getting married. I am getting married coming up the middle of October. The Studley Duck and I are finally we have debated and debated and debated and debated and talked and tried to figure it out. And when you are 76 and 71, it is not as easy as it is when you're 20 or 25 or whatever, you know, or when you're much younger. It's a whole lot easier because you just do it. You just do it, you know? So that's what I just pulled up, which is not too bad. When you're younger, you don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about it. You just do it, you know? You don't have two brain cells to rub together a lot of times. I am getting married. Whoops, a little too much paint, but you know, it's what it is. We're gonna be lucky. We're gonna be lucky to get what we get here tonight. The biggest issue for me in this process was, where am I gonna live? I still don't have all of those details worked out because we each have a house. And he had a house that he has shared with two wives. And so that is an interesting situation. Okay. I'm just going to put some marks on here. And I'm just gonna, I'm not doing, honestly, all I'm doing here is just intuitively picking stuff up and just printing. So, you know, it's one of those situations where he has, and his house is not small, and I need a towel or something. His house is not small, and when you have a house that's not small, guess what happens to it? It gets filled up. Exactly, Ruth. Believe me, I've thought about doing that, Angela. I've thought about that. I don't really want to do that because I really don't want to get married to be single. But it does become a question about how to navigate that. Okay, so I'm going to do my best to show you these as I'm pulling them, prints as I'm pulling them. This is the thinner weight paper that I'm pulling these prints on. That's that one, and this is this one. This I actually like what's happening here. And it pulled a lot of this off the plate, which is cool. So, let's, I don't know. I'm going to just pull paints. Some of these are about done. There's not a lot in them. This is high flow. So I'm going to combine some high flow and some regular acrylic, and we're just going to see what happens. So anyway, so what we have been doing, his Studley Duck's wife, who passed away, it turns out was a hoarder of, well, let's say she was a collector of stuff. And I will say that she never threw away anything. And I do mean that. She didn't throw away a thing. And when you don't throw away anything, you know what that does? Is it just, if you don't throw away anything, you can get yourself in a mess before you realize the mess that you've gotten yourself into. However, she died and left the mess behind, and so when she left the mess behind, and she left a husband to clean it out. And then before he got it cleaned out, he inherited a daughter and a granddaughter who came to live with him for 6 months, but they stayed for 4 years. Oops. Okay, I need to some of the paper stuck to the plate. I should have switched to a new piece of paper. So we will put that one away. I'll show that to you later if I remember it. Okay. The lighter weight paper is much more fragile. Okay, so here is this one. This paper is quite fragile once it gets wet, and so what it did was part of it stuck to the plate over here. Here's what happened. So part of it stuck to the plate, and so that piece of paper, what's going to happen is this. This part's going to go and sit and become collage fodder as it is, and this one, once it's dry, I'll be able to print more on it. But for right now, that piece of paper's got to go take a rest. It's in a timeout. Okay, let's come back to some white on this side of the plate. So anyway, on the 24th of August, we started actively working with the help of some family to work on this space and clean it out, and that has gotten this whole process going. And when you have a house that has space in it, you know, there's no place to stop. You just have to get after it and just get going. So that's what we've been doing. So I don't really know where I live right now. Whoops, should have been the smooth side down. I don't really know where I live right now, other than I live between houses. I'm sorry that I'm not watching the chat very well. Thank you all for making new people welcome. I appreciate that very, very much. Okay, so this one is, although you don't see a whole lot over here, even prints like this that are kind of grungy looking and light, those are pretty neat prints. This piece is going to go sit and dry, and I will continue working on this heavier weight paper. So I'm going to use some more of the high flow acrylic. So my thoughts tonight will be scattered because, quite honestly, I am really super tired. Happy, but tired. Nervous, but tired. Looking forward to building a life together, but tired. Does that tell you anything? Plus, we will be traveling out of town for the ceremony. Studley Duck's son, as I've told you, is going through cancer treatment. He is a minister, and so he will be doing the ceremony, and so we are going to him, and so that means traveling and, you know, getting ready and hopefully getting a place ready to come back to beforehand. And it's coming along really well, but we have so far, I think we've been to Goodwill 18 or 20 times with loaded vehicles. We have gotten rid of one huge dumpster of stuff, and a second one is on its way to being full, and we haven't started on my house yet. True, Rhonda. Yeah. So anyway. So that's what's going on. Come on now. Just, why are you sticking to my plate here? A little bit. It's not too bad, but there's a little bit. I'm going to do a cleanup print, a better cleanup print. It's not bad. That's not bad. I'm going to do a better cleanup print here just with copy paper. Let's see if we can get more of this off and keep it on. So I'm going to use just a craft paint and see if we can get the rest of this to pull up. Just using some copy paper. It's got a little more strength. So I'm not sure. Oh, so Friday, part of what caused all this to fly into high motion is that Studley Duck has a bunch of company coming this weekend. A lot of people are coming to stay at his house, and so we're highly motivated to try to get things in order at his house so that he could effectively, we're going to go this way, have people come and stay and things were clean and tidy and, you know, all of that. Because it was a bunch of people that were coming in. Fortunately, he has the room to do it. And so there's been the part of the race to get things cleared out was because there was a professional cleaning crew that was going to be coming in to actually do the cleaning. Exactly. It would be more than two. Anyway, it's coming along well. You know, houses and dwellings have a life. It's not the kind of life like you and I have kind of life, but they have a life of their own. There is a I do not understand what is going on here with this plate. I think what we're going to do, when in doubt, turn it over. So that's what we're going to do. I will work on cleaning this plate up later. I do not want to take the time to clean it up tonight. So we're going to just turn it over and we're going to work on the other side. That's how you solve that problem. You either ignore it or you just turn it over. It's like a piece of paper. It has two sides. So there's the crud side that for whatever reason is not cooperating tonight. And we're just going to turn it over and work on this side. So what was I going to say? So anyway, the cleaning crew was there on Friday. 4 people. They cleaned the upstairs. What I just did. Oh well. Doesn't matter. And then they came back today and cleaned the other level of the house. And so it's looking good. But boy, you know, you really, when you have a space that has not been, that was not loved well, it's lived in, but not loved well as far as taking care of it, then it takes they kind of communicate, spaces kind of communicate to you that I need some help, you know. And so this one was in need of some help, and it is now doing quite well. I'm happy to report. It is doing quite well. All right, let's put this piece back on here. I'm just going to put so I get some and some. And I will tell you, I probably am not making a lick of sense tonight, and I apologize for that, but that is just the how of it, as my son used to say. And just putting paint on a plate and just pulling some prints and just seeing what happens. These will probably be my favorite prints of all time, because that's what usually ends up happening when I do things like this. Just, you know, a lot of times they work better. I'm just gonna print the stencil on one of these pieces of paper. I know you can't see it, but I will show it to you. And then I'm going to take another piece of this paper and I'm going to pull up whatever there is that wants to come up here. $80 years worth of stuff to sort out. Oh, Dorothy. Well, this one is over 50 years. So, yeah. Okay, so there is the second print, ghost print, as it were. And that is with the high flow acrylic. Let's put some of the I'm looking to see what I have in here. Let's do this, I don't know why, transparent oxide red. See if there's anything that will come out of this. Here we go. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. And Friday, honestly, I just flat out hit the wall. And I just couldn't go any further. So I sat and stitched on Friday, and that's what I did. I just stitched and stitched, slow stitching, and that really helped a whole lot. Okay, let's use another piece of this. So I cleaned off the stencil on here. Didn't get much, but that's not terribly unusual. Sometimes you get more than you do other times. Didn't get much on that one either, and that's okay. Let's just I think part of my issue is my ceiling fan is trying to dry things too quickly. Jen, hello, my goodness, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing okay, Jen. I think about you a lot. So, yes, I will not be here on Friday. I believe I'll be back here the next Monday. Quite honestly, you guys, life for me over the course of the next few weeks is going to be unpredictable. So I know that doesn't go well for an audience and numbers of viewers and that kind of stuff, but it is what it is. I will be back when I can come back. I'll be here anytime that I can be, but I'm going to be unpredictable for a little while. So that's what is going on there. We're going to put some more just white craft paint and maybe some antique white craft paint on here. Mostly I'm just putting paint on and pulling it off. One of the things that's going to happen is that we are going away for a vacation. We're doing that before we're getting the cart before the horse. We're doing that before the wedding. The wedding is in the middle of October. And yeah. Okay, let's take a little bit of this one and put over here. And take a little bit of this one and put here. And take a little bit of this one and put up here. So we are going to be going to the mountains of Colorado, and I'm going to breathe different air and not have to clean anything or handle anybody else's stuff. Mind you, I have not started on my own stuff yet. Because, you know, part of the problem when there's a situation where there's too much stuff in a space, you got to clear out the stuff before you can figure out how to put any more stuff in the space. And then hopefully at some point before too long, we are going to, I hope, everyone can join me in sending me really good energy and prayers and good thoughts and whatever your belief system is. I will take it all. That we build a new house that is just the two of us, that is a place that only the two of us will have lived. And I think it's a really good thing. But that is a transition. There had to be a transition between here and there. Really, I don't know why this is sticking to. Okay. There's got to be a reason that this is sticking to the plate, and I do not know what it is. No clue why the paper is sticking to the plate. I guess I am leaving it on a little too long. There's probably a reason for it, but you know, beats the you know what out of me as to why it's doing it. So I'm going to go back to some regular old paper. I have honestly not had this problem with the rice paper before. So I'm going to try, this may not work, but I'm going to try putting a coat of regular craft acrylic paint on this plate to see if I can get it to soak through the back of this paper that it left on the plate. May or may not work. You know, it always looks so easy when somebody else does it, right? Yeah, this plate isn't very old. It should not require conditioning, but, you know, maybe. Maybe. All right, we're gonna, this is just regular old junk printer paper. So we're gonna give it some pressure, and I'll just talk to you while I massage the plate, and we'll see whether it'll pull it off or not. If it won't, I'll switch plates and we'll go to something else. Or I'll just stop. I'll just stop. You know, sometimes that's part of the problem too. It's like doing things when you're too tired. So, you think the high flow is too thin for the rice paper? Okay, that could be. That certainly could be. Could be. The high flow is a different animal. That is true. No, we're not. We are not getting anywhere. We're just not getting anywhere here. So the good news is I have more plates. So what we're going to do is we're going to just switch plates, and then I will deal with this sorry thing later. Yeah, we'll just deal with this at a later time. So let me switch plates, because that's the solution to this. Okay. When in doubt, go small. You wouldn't mind a short visit? That's good, because that's probably what it's going to be. I'm going to switch to a 6x6 plate, and it's brand spanking clean. And we're not going to use any high flow. We're going to use just regular old paint. What I normally use is just craft paint, and so even though it's kind of buried, I'm going to just unearth it here, and we're going to use craft paint because that's what I usually use. So that's what we're going to go back to, and I'm going to put the expensive stuff away and go to the high flow, or go to the regular old craft paint. And go back to my favorite colors. I think that it sounds like a famous idea. What do you guys think? Okay. So I'm going to put this stuff back up on the shelf and use it at a later time. Okay, I'm just going to work with 3 colors at the moment, and I'm going to throw this mess away. Okay, let's try again. So we're going, instead of big, we're going small. I'm going to go back to my favorite color in the whole world, bright aqua green. Now, the trick is don't put too much paint out. Just probably too much. I'm brayering off on an old dictionary that's on a chair beside me. All right, let's, I'm just going to take this piece of rice paper here. Let's see what happens. Yep, see, good old craft paint. All right. More, and good enough. There we go, good enough. And now let's put my other favorite color, which is brilliant yellow green. So hopefully we'll pick up some of the bright aqua green. with the brilliant yellow green. And let's go to my favorite in the whole wide world stencil, spots. And let's pick up some spots. See, now we're talking. If at first you don't succeed, don't give up. Just go for it again. Switch. Just switch. Get off one horse and get on another one. And go, yep, okay. That's clearly not the color not the paint that we're going to use tonight. Whether it's the paint or the combination of the paint and the paper or whatever it is, doesn't matter, just is what it is. You don't spend a lot of time worrying about it, you just alter your course of action. All right, let's dig through these stencils that I have out here. Somewhere here I have a huge butterfly that I've never used before. Big old giant butterfly. We're going to put him on there, and I'm going to just give it a little texture. And let's take this piece of paper, which happens to be a piece of scrapbook paper. Let's see what this prints like. Alright, so there's one way to get the butterfly. Here is another way to get the butterfly. Let's use let's just use this. So got a little bit, and then let's further see what we can pull off this way. See if it's still wet enough to get it to pull up. It might or might not be. Sometimes I find that when I'm jelly plate printing, what I have to do, it's like doing paste papers or any of those kinds of things. Sometimes you just have to persist until you get till the plate gets warmed up or whatever, or I get warmed up. Who knows? Who really knows? Okay, let's go back to the bright aqua green. Let's add a little bit of, that was too much, but you know, we will get rid of some of it. All right, let's go back to this and give it some texture. And let's put a different stencil down. A variation on spots. Different kind of spots. And let's take the same paper I've been working on. This is one of the rice paper pieces of paper. Okay, so we have some textured square-ish spots. Let's see if I can get some more. So what I'm getting is layers, a layered piece of paper. This, I can tell you right now, this is going to be one of my favorite pieces of paper, because I can see it developing and becoming something that I could never replicate again. And those are often my very favorite pieces of paper. All right, let's see if we can get one of these to, I know I'm tempting fate, but we're gonna see what we can get it to do. This is the thin, if I can get it apart, the thin rice paper. Tempting fate here, that's okay. Now that's a print that I like. Yep, that's a print that I really like. Okay, let's put some yellow here, because that's a good, and maybe a little white with it. That yellow is super bright, so I'm cutting it with a little bit of white just to see if we can get it to still be yellow. Yellow is a good color, but sometimes it kind of gets a little in your face. Okay, this is another one of my favorite stencils. So we're going to just plop it down and then print through the stencil. Bye, Becky. Thanks for being here. And that's what I printed right there. And I'm just going to take this and print it. Anything that wants to come off can come off, and if it doesn't want to, it doesn't have to. And we'll see if any of this wants to come off. Okay. So there's a little more grunginess coming off there, which is nice. I'm just pulling, I was only going to work with 2 colors, but you know, that I never was known for completely telling the whole truth when it comes to this stuff, because my inner creative muse just often has a different idea than I do. What other stencil do I have here? Let's go back to this one. Okay. This will make a great book cover. This piece of paper will make a great book cover, which I'm going to have to do here before long because I'm about to use up my journal, current journal. And you know how that is for me. I start getting a little panicky when I see the pages of my journal kind of running out. Not really. Okay, so this one is coming along nicely. And one of the other things I like to do, maybe we'll do it here in a little bit, I'll try to let that dry. I'm not saying I'll be successful at it. Good night, Dorothy. Sleep well. We'll see what it does. I'm thinking I will paint a background to fill in the blank spaces, so we'll see. This is one of my other favorite colors, electric pink. I do love me some good electric pink by Americana. So I'm going to let that rice paper, the one that's about full of stuff, I'm going to let it just sit there and dry for a minute, and then I'm going to take this one and let's put some spots. Let's add some spots up here with the other spots. See if we can get some combination of layered spots. Yeah, a little bit. Not a ton, but a little. See if we can get some more over here. Nope, not much. Okay. And then let's put some of the brilliant yellow green on it. Draw a little design on it, and let's see if we can get something to pull up from that. And this one, which is that scrapbook paper that I'm using because I'm not crazy about the design of it. There's that one. And that one is mostly the plain green. Let's see if we can see what we'll pull up now on top of the butterfly. Sometimes when things are too in your face, you can tone them down with a ghost print. So as I said, yeah, I like that better. As I said, I'm going to be a little unpredictable in my schedule. And so when I'm here, I'm here. And we will have a good time together. And when I'm not here, apologies. just know that I will be back. It just is a little, things are a little in a state of development. I feel like I have been in a state of flux for several years, and it's probably because I have been. And one thing it has taught me is to do the best I can to stay present, because it's super easy to get caught up in the things that you can't control, you know? Alright, I'm going to take this piece of paper and I'm going to print right here, because these big sunflowers are a little much. I'm not going to give it too much time. Yeah, that's better. I got rid of some of that. And let's come back to this one and let's see if we can tone this section down a little bit. So I'm looking forward to possibly getting a little bit more stable, shall we say. That will be a nice feeling. Yeah, that, I like that. Okay, let's try that. See if there's any more here. Yes, this piece is coming along well too. I'm liking what's happening here. I didn't intend to have it in quadrants, but that's what's developing, and that I kind of like what's shaping up. Okay, so we're going to do a few more pulls here. Let's go to this color, Ocean Green. I seem to have a lot of greens on my desk for some reason. Must have been whatever it was I was doing. I'm going to tone that, tint that a little bit. Anyway, so that's what's happening. I have been cleaning out and cleaning out and cleaning out and cleaning out other people's stuff. And the great part about that is that I'm not attached to any of it. So that means that when you're not attached to the stuff, let's do this one. When you're not attached to the stuff, it's pretty easy to make decisions. But when other people are attached to the stuff, it's a whole different, kind of a whole different story. Okay, so what I want to do now is to begin to kind of blur the quadrant lines a little bit. Let's see. Just to see if I can kind of do that a little bit. And let's see if we can get a little bit more of this off. There we go. And maybe a little of this. Yeah. So what I'm doing is just toning down some of what is already there so that the patterns are not quite so in your face. They're just beginning to tone down a little bit. So the thing with the jelly plate printing is if you don't like what you have going on, then what you need to do is just to keep adding a little bit more and a little bit more, and just try different things until you get the end result that you like. And if you go one layer too much and you go, wow, I liked it better before I did that, well, then that's, you know, that's how you learn, right? That's how you learn. Okay, let's these are my two favorite texture tools. These are my two favorite ones. This is a Martha Stewart one from years ago. This is a Catalyst tool. These are two of my very favorite tools. Let's do this. I like this stencil. This is a stencil from Hobby Lobby. It's a cheap one, super cheap. It's in the the home deck section. It's not in the regular crafting section. Now we're finally getting to something I'm liking. So you just keep printing and printing until you get what you like happening. And I am not one who likes to spend time figuring out, well, if I do this and then I do that, then I get this result and then that happens. I don't care for that. This is what I like. I like the experimentation. I like the, whoop, didn't like that. The binder came out too much. We'll start over. When that happens, that means your paint hasn't been shaken up. Are you guys all still here? I hope. The chat came to a screeching halt. I am just simply rattling on, blathering on here. I hope you guys are still here. I have a plethora of stencils, believe me. I have a ton of stencils, but I'm only using a very few here tonight. You're still here. What's your weather like, Jen? Are you going, you must be going into spring now? Okay, let's see what else I have. You're just watching. Your weather's beautiful. Oh, good. This is another piece of scrapbook paper that was a cleanup print. Had some metallics on it. We'll do something with that. Let's do some more weird spots. So got some squarish spots up here. I've got some right there. I'd like to get something in there. So we have some there. That's good. I'm like, isn't it nice when you compliment yourself? You go, oh, that's nice. That's good. You know. But if you guys weren't here, I'd be talking to myself the same way. I'd be going, oh, yeah, I like that. Oh, no, that's terrible. Oh, I've got to start that again. Ooh, what happened there? You know, because that's what we do. We talk to ourselves, don't we? That one, this one's another one that would be good to paint a background into, so I think we'll do that here in a second. See what we can do. Let's see if anything wants to come off of this. Nope. Okay. That's all right. let's put this one down and see if we can pull this off the plate. Exactly, party of one. Hello, Signa, good to see you. I know I haven't been very active in the chat because mostly I've just been blathering on, trying to explain myself, which has been not the easiest thing to do. Yeah. Okay, that's going to make this infinitely better to go over this with some various prints and pulls. Yeah, this will develop nicely as we go along. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to put the plate away, and I'm going to go get some thin paint that's very transparent, and we're going to take these two pieces of this multiple layered rice paper. Let me see how many pieces I have here that might be usable that I can do something with. 2 for sure. Those 2, this one maybe. Okay, so maybe 3 of these pieces are things that I can do something with. So let me take just a quick second. And that piece has possibilities at some point. Okay, let me take a quick second. I'm gonna run in the other room right here. You can't see it. I'm gonna get some Dynaflow paints, which are very thin and translucent to transparent. And we're gonna paint some backgrounds into these and see what happens. Because I think that could be pretty exciting to see what they turn into. So let me do that. Give me just a second, okay? Okay, water, a brush, some paint, and we're going to pick out the color for the first one. So we're going to go for this one first of all. So we're going to put something in the background on this one. So I'm looking to see what color I want to use. Let's go for, you know, okay. Okay, this one is magenta. Okay, magenta, and these are Dynaflow acrylic paints. They're exceedingly thin. This is a piece of palette paper. I'm going to use some paper towel to dry off the brush. I did dampen it. Good to see you, Signa. Goodness, it must be late in your part of the world. Okay, so I'm going to thin this out. And I'm just going to paint over all of this. Alright, need some more paint. And we should see, as the paint underneath from the prints causes a resist to happen, we should see some interesting designs come out. And I am thinning this paint a little bit as I go. Now this, you can't tell exactly what this is going to look like until it's completely dry, because as most acrylics do, they will dry differently. Any paint dries usually a little differently when it to be a different level of intensity when it dries versus when it goes on wet. And this is the rice paper, so it's going to be pretty vulnerable for the moment. Okay? All right. So there is this one. You can see how floppy it is. It will regain some of its integrity as it dries, but that I like. I think that has turned into be a beautiful piece of paper. So it's going to set off to the side here and dry a little bit. All right. Now, that was magenta. It's number 809 in case you're interested in knowing. Super thin paint. Dynaflow, D-Y-E-N-A-F-L-O-W. It's by Jacquard. All right. Let's take this one. And let's decide what kind of color we want to put on in the background of that one. I'm going to put the magenta one away. Okay, this color is chartreuse, which may compete a little bit with some of this in here, but I don't know. It might or it might not. Who knows? You do want to always shake these paints up because they are thin. The pigment will separate out from, I don't know, whatever the binder is, I suppose. Now, if you want to get fancy, maybe we will. We'll paint this until I run out of this color. And then we'll pick up another color and add on this one. so it's not all the same color. So I'll put the chartreuse away. And let me grab another one. This one is turquoise. So let's try a little bit of turquoise. Turquoise, huh? That is got some color to it. Whew! Some of these are really staining dark, bright, whatever. Again, this is the rice paper, so it's when it gets fully saturated, it is going to be subject to tearing, so you're going to have to handle it very gingerly. But the places where it's taken the color the darkest is where there was not any printing, jelly plate printing. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, so I'm going to put that one off to the side. Chance is being such a good boy now. He's totally quiet. And we have one more we're going to do. And I'm going to use a little bit of this turquoise again. Now this particular print doesn't have, this piece of paper doesn't have much on it. So we could get some really interesting effects with this. Okay, let me get another piece, another color. Sorry, I'm just looking. I'll be right there. Okay, use that one. So we'll use a couple of these and see what they do. This is ochre. And this one is particularly difficult to mix up. It really likes to settle out. So it may or may not be fully mixed, and we're going to just pretend that it is. That it's mixed enough. Yeah, that's ochre. Good enough. So we're going to I'm just going to dance around the page with the brush. Not trying to get a totally painted background, because I want to come back in with another color over this. Good enough. Okay. I'm going to put the ochre away. And that truly is ochre. It does mix up to make a nice color. And now this one is Periwinkle. You know, this is how you learn how the supplies work. You just play with them. In a perfect world, I would not stick a brush into this paint, but you know, it's my paint. Nobody's gonna, the paint police are not gonna come get me. And if they do, I'm gonna say, oh really? You're not supposed to be able to do that? I didn't know. You know, one thing the last few years has taught me is to hold on loosely. Hold on to everything with a light hand. Do not clutch at life. Do not clutch at people. Don't clutch at relationships. Hold loosely. Don't have huge preconceived notions about how something's going to be, because I can pretty much guarantee you it's not going to be the way you thought it was going to be. Hold gently, loosely. Let things unfold in front of you. The more you try to control an outcome, whether it's paint or families or relationships or any kind of outcome, the tighter you hold on to an outcome, the more you count on something. It's that old thing of unmet expectations. The more you're going to be disappointed. If you don't hold on so tightly, the more fun, the more exciting, the more unexpected results. You make room in your life for the unexpected to show up. Okay, let's put this away. Then we'll look at these that are starting to dry a little bit. And this one, what I would come back and do with this one, I think, is I would come back over the top of this and do maybe a little stenciling. It has to dry though. Come back and do a little stenciling, do a little, add some white maybe, or play with some paint pens or something, because I think that that could make that one look even more exciting. Okay, this was the first one that we did. And I don't know if you can tell, but as it has been sitting, this is the one that we did magenta over the whole thing. It has begun to, first of all, the paper is not so floppy now, and it has a different look on the other side. So maybe you like one side better than the other. But it's begun to regain its integrity. That's true, Terry. Very true. Just let it kind of do its thing. I don't think that this one I would do anything to. I think I like it the way it is. This could be folded over and be the cover of a book. Could be any number of things. But that one I like a lot. And I like that magenta in the background. Okay, so there's that one. This is the next one. This one is not very dry yet, but this is the one that we did the chartreuse and turquoise in the background. And so that one is coming along well. This one I probably wouldn't do much to either. I like it. I like the spots that are kind of floating on top and kind of driving down the sunflowers a little bit. That play of layers, I like that result as well. So I think, and it's drying enough that I think it's gonna, that's about how it's gonna look when it's finished the drying process. So there's those two. Okay, we ended up with some success tonight after all, people. And then the last one, and this one is super, trying to find my remote so I can zoom out a little bit. Here it is. Oh, poor remote's getting nice and painty. This one is the one that we just did. So this is the one that has multicolored. This is the one that didn't have a whole lot on it to start with. And so it could use some, it's not finished. In other words, it needs some more layers on it. But I like what's happening. I like the blue and the orangey browns happening. Trust the process is correct. So anyway, we ended up with some success after all, you guys. Whew! We worked hard to get there. Yeah, worked hard to get there. On the way to success, we had some developments. Is that just this? We had some developments along the way. Here's another one that's developing. And another one that's developing. Or something. We don't know what those are going to be. And I don't know if I had any other ones laying around here. I truly don't know. But this one's got possibilities. This is just a piece of scrapbook paper. You know, it's got possibilities. Anytime you cut something up, cut it into smaller pieces, you got possibilities. Okay, that being said, we struggled, but we got there in the end, folks. We did. We got some good success in the end. And they're not exactly the same. And that is challenging for me because I tend to like the same colors. And I tend to go back to the same colors again and again and again. And, you know, because I know what colors I like and what colors work well together. And besides that, we got a really good looking brayer. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for putting up with me. Honestly, it was an adventure tonight. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate you being here. I'm just glad that we stuck it out and we got somewhere in the end and didn't give up. And yeah, I'm going to go have some supper now. I'm going to have a good night of sleep and go from there. Thank you guys for being here. I will not be here Friday afternoon because there is a big thing that I have to go to, it's a big awards thing that I am going to go to. I'm a part of, and last Friday, before I should have streamed, when I flaked on the stream, I was at an awards banquet, and that was really neat. That was a really neat thing to get to go to and meet some of the students at the university who received some scholarships, and that was really neat to get to be a part of that. It's exciting when you get to be part of the lives of young people, and you get to share some of your experience. And I got to sit next to a college student, a freshman, who it was a luncheon banquet, and bless her heart, she was just terrified. And so, you know, that was really neat for me to get to sit by her and just say, you know, one of the best things you can do is just breathe and not worry about what's going on, because you know what? Down the road, when you're out there working in your career, working in the field that you've chosen, you're not gonna remember what score you got on this test. So just do the best you can. Relax, breathe, and just keep going. And you know, really, that's good advice for all of us. All right, thanks for being here, you guys. I will hopefully get my act together eventually. Or not. I don't know. Thank you for celebrating with me. I will not be here Friday. I should be here next Monday. And I'm not sure exactly what to tell you about my schedule other than check back, and if I'm here, we'll do something. And if I'm not, you guys will just know she's either flaked again or she's gone and forgot to tell us. Okay? It should be exciting. All right. I will see you soon. Thanks for everybody, to all of you for being here. And until next time, remember to get creative today, because you know it is easy. Do something nice for somebody. See you later. Bye.